What is up guys, Anthony here, and in this camera comparison we're going to be looking at the Canon SL2 versus the iPhone XR. So I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently with this camera comparison. I'm not going to be putting what picture came from what device until the very end. That way you guys can have or form your own opinions without any bias in them. So let's go ahead and pull up the first images that I have right here and talk about the left side first. So as you can see, on the left, we have a very clear image. Everything in the picture is sharp, everything is focused, and you can even see some clouds and some blue in the sky in the background. So it looks like a very good image, and it's not really foggy like you see on the right. On the right, it's very overexposed, and a lot of it is not in focus. It's not a sharp image. The colors are a little off too because of that overexposure. It just doesn't look really well put together. So I really like the image on the left. It's by far the better, higher quality image. So let's look at the next one here. This one I could say is really close. The only big difference that you notice right away is the colors, because on the right we do see a little bit more of a warmer tint, which is cool if that's what you're going for. But on the left we see a more natural looking shot. So you can also see more details on the left. It's kind of hard to see, but I zoomed up a little bit. On the right you see that you lose a little bit of the detail, especially on the bark on the tree. On the left there is a little bit more detail and it's more in focus. You can also see more details in the back with the house and on the tree branch up top. So I think they both look really good. This one is a little bit closer than the last image comparison was, but I'm gonna have to say the left one is better for me. Next, I don't know if you guys can count this as low light photography because there still was a lot of light involved, but it was in a very shady area, and this is the image that I got from both devices. So on the left, again, we see a very clear image. It's all in focus, and the colors are very accurate. They are just a little bit darker. What I like about the one on the left is that the white actually looks white. And if you look over on the right, the flower looks a little green tinted, and it doesn't look that great. But before, when I was editing these two together, these two images, when I put the image on the right up, it looks very, very nice because of the vibrant colors. The green on the leaves is very popping and eye-catching, and it looked like a really good image. But then when you place it next to the one on the left, that's when it starts to look a little oversaturated, a little too edited, even though it's not touched at all. So I didn't really like it when I started comparing it to the one on the left. Again, I'm gonna have to go with the left on this one just because of the color accuracy issue. It looks to me better on the left. This next one, again, you can see a little bit of a warmer tint on the right side. It looks okay if that's what you're going for. Again, like, it's all kind of a preference thing when it comes to color, but I think along with that, it does add like too much of a hazy kind of grainy look to it, and I don't really like that. I like the image on the left a little bit better, not only because of the color. I really like the color, how it's popping, but you can actually see like the wispy parts of the cloud, versus on the right it just all looks like a big clump, especially on the little sections of cloud that are kind of split off. They don't look too like well composed. They're really kind of just a fluff ball. Versus on the left, you can see a lot of little details, especially when you go closer in. It actually looks like cotton being separated. So it's really cool how it can catch so much detail, and I think that's what makes the image on the left better, along with personal preference, color. This one I was having a hard time analyzing just because I don't really understand like what's going on here. There's obviously a major difference between the image on the left and on the right. And I think on the left it's just a little bit more grainy. It does look like it has more detail, but it just doesn't really look that good. I think the colors are a little too blue tinted for my liking, especially when you are dealing with reds. You don't want kind of like that blue contrasty feeling. So it doesn't look as good to me as the one on the right. I think the one on the right definitely beats out this one because of the color accuracy, and it looks a little more composed. It looks all put together. There's too many different color tints and shades on the image on the left. This last test that we're going to do is a video test because I want to see which camera or iPhone does it better. We're going to go ahead and play that for you guys, and again, I'm not going to tell you which one is which. You'll just have to decide on your own. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you which side was which device. So here are the clips right now. Enjoy. Okay, so the first video clip was the iPhone XR, and then was the Canon SL2. So I personally like the iPhone XR. It did a little bit of a better job with autofocusing. The colors looked okay to me on both. They weren't really like that big of a factor when I was considering my decision. But yeah, it was mostly the autofocus for me of the iPhone XR. So now let's talk about which side was which on the images. The ones on the left were all from the iPhone XR, and the ones from the right were the Canon SL2. So it was a little bit surprising to me because I thought, like the Canon is just a camera system. It's supposed to be good at taking pictures, and the iPhone, like, yeah, it has a great camera, but it doesn't function just as a camera. There's so much more packed into it that it's amazing that the camera surpasses a device that's mainly for taking photos and video. So a lot of that I think has to do with the automatic settings. I don't think I would have been able to capture such great images if I had to do everything manual like I was doing on the Canon. So that's something to consider. So yeah, the winner is the iPhone XR. I don't know if that comes as a shock to you guys, but it was a little bit of a shock to me. So that's going to be it for today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more camera comparisons like this one. Peace out.